Okay, for this training, the agent has registered on the IPX platform, the participant has registered, and the participant has completed their salary reduction agreement. So the next step is for the agent to log in and complete the enrollment for the participant. So we'll be taking you through that process in this training video. After a participant enrolls and completes their SRA, then the system will automatically send out an email to the selected agent so that the agent knows that it's time for them to come in and complete the enrollment for this participant. So the email will look something like this. I will let the agent know that there is a participant at a school district that needs their assistance. It will provide a link to log in and a support phone number. And since they already registered, they should already have their user ID and password to log in and begin this enrollment. In the email, the agent will come to the IPX portal and log in using the credentials that they established when they registered. So we're logging in as Lisa Cabby agent. Challenge question for security, and there we are. So this agent is brand new. You can see that over to the right here, there's a lot of white space. This would usually be filled in with all of the account information for the various participants. When an agent logs in, the first thing that they'll want to do is look at their advisor queue notifications, and you can see that Lisa is going to be pretty busy. She has 19 active requests in her queue. So when I go to the queue, then I'll see a listing of all of my various requests from participants, and I'm going to go ahead and sort this by date so that I can see the newest ones at the top. And here we are, and here is Jim Smith's case, which we just saw Jim enter in the previous training. So I'm going to click on Jim's name, and that's going to show me some basic information about the case. It has instructions on what to do next, and a big button that says Begin Annuity Order Entry. This is the button that will launch from the IPX platform into the Affirm platform. To the agent, this should be pretty seamless. It's going to just go from one screen to the next in a new browser pane. One thing to be careful of is making sure the pop-up blockers are off. When I click, then the first thing that I'm going to see after this will be, well, actually behind the scenes, we just went and did a license and appointment check against the carrier database. And then the carrier will return a writing code for me to select. And you can see that there's only one choice for me. Sometimes there will be more than one, and it's pre-selected. And we also see that the agent still needs to complete training on this product. And that is a warning, but it's not going to stop us from proceeding. So I'll click Continue, and at this point we're going to launch into the Affirm platform, and behind the scenes we're going to pass a lot of information in with the case. Affirm, and we're going to step through the process. You can see at the top here there is navigation that goes across from left to right, and we're going to basically just tap through all of these screens. There's quite a bit of information here that's locked, it's grayed out, you can see it, and we display it to the agent because this will be the first time that they're seeing some of this information, and we want them to have the opportunity to review all of the information that's going into this enrollment. So the first screen has information about the agent. You can see here that Lisa Cabby is already pre-entered and locked. And if Lisa is on a sales team, then she can go in and add additional agents. Next is product selection. The product is already selected. It was the Secure Plus Flex Euro that was chosen during the salary reduction agreement by the participant. Here we have the funding, and this is a pretty straightforward case. So we have $300 coming in from salary deduction, and this field will be locked also. Next we have our participants, and you can see that it's Jim Smith and a beneficiary, Jane Jetson. Jim Smith is the owner and the annuitant for this 403B annuity, and there's a possibility of non-natural entities also. Next, I'm going to put in any participant details. Most of this information should be pre-filled and locked. We will have to select the active military, but that's usually the only thing that needs to be selected on this screen. Next, we're going to select any riders or programs. In this case, the program is already pre-selected for this product. That's part of the product rules that are built in. And for my guaranteed income rider, I have a couple options. I can either choose, I can not elect, or I can elect under certain circumstances. And this is one where I'm going to elect and I'm putting less than $25,000 in. Sometimes there are additional options to select, and that would show up on this feature detail screen. In this case, there are not. Next, I'm going to select my sub-account allocations. The first one is for ongoing allocations, and the second column is for this initial allocation. And I'm going to make them both the same, so I'm going to make them 30% into the declared interest, 30% now and ongoing into the S&P 500 average, and 40% now and ongoing into the S&P 500 ending index. If there are any questions from the agency, from the distributor, then these would be here. There are none in this case, and this screen will be suppressed if there are none. And then we get into the suitability questions from the carrier. And I'll fill these in very quickly. Teacher, retire at 65. Works at Hardy High School. I can select if I want to have any skip months for my salary reduction agreement, months that the salary reduction will not be taken out of. And I'll select no for all of my months. Okay, so that's the suitability questions. Here I can do a couple things. I can add a note to this case if I want, and this note will be seen by the carrier approval workflow, which will show in another training, but it will not be visible anywhere else. And then also I can, if I want, I can browse and upload a document to attach here. So if I have something like a wet sign document, then I can attach it here. Next, I'll see something called an order summary report, and this is very important. This is every bit of information that's in this enrollment. So as an agent, I can go through this standard layout and look at everything, including all of the answers to the suitability questions, and make sure that everything looks good before I submit this case. Okay, I'll click next on the submit screen, and this will take me to the form screen. Behind the scenes now, the system is selecting the forms package, populating the fillable fields in the forms, and generating a single PDF for all of the forms. And here's the listing of all of the forms. You can see privacy notices, consent, the application, etc. And I can view those forms here. And if we look at the forms, you'll see that they are pre-filled and typewritten, so everything is in very good shape. If the system was configured for e-signature, then we would go into the e-sign process here. If it's configured for wet signature, then at this point the agent would print these forms and go and get wet signatures and then send them into either to their agency or to the carrier. And after the signature process, either e-sign or wet sign is complete, then the agent would click submit, and this will pass the case on to the approval workflow if there is one in place.